All right, folks, I've got 7 o'clock. I'm gonna go ahead and call to order this August 13, 2024 meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Town of White Lake. And I would ask you to begin by bowing your heads for the invocation. Dear Lord, we wish to thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to gather here this evening to discuss the business of the town. We ask that you guide and direct us as we attempt to do your will and to do those things that are in the best interest of the citizens of this town. These things we ask in Christ's name. Amen. As always, we start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I would ask Commissioner Suggs if he would to lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, let's see. First matter is the consent agenda. Are there any questions from anyone in regard to any of the consent agenda items which are presented for your review? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as set forth in item 1 as presented.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Not all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Next item is employee achievement recognition in public works, and we got Mr. Lee here. I wanted to let y'all know that on June 13th of this year, Mr. Lee Kane met the requirements for certification for grade 1 collections operator from the state of North Carolina Water Pollution Control System Operators Certification Commission. And Lee, we are really proud of you for doing that. I know with the week that you have had, it's probably difficult for you to be here and hold your eyes open. I wanted, and I think Sean wanted to have a little something to say too. I just wanted to say, Kevin, to you and to Lee and all of the folks that are in your department. And I'll make this apply to their police officers as well. I know that they had many things to do, but you guys went above and beyond on this. I know you had people that were there for 7 days in a row. You were running shifts. We had an apocalyptic amount of rain come through. I don't think we've had anything like that since Florence, maybe that hit us so hard. And y'all just did an outstanding job. I mean, you're not doing that because you get paid. You're doing that because you got your heart in it. And I mean that sincerely. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate the effort that y'all put into that and the things you had to do, because I know working out there in the middle of the night could not have been fun. So again, we thank you for that. And we have put something to present. Yeah, okay. And we need to get a picture if we can by someone. Lee, if you wouldn't mind stepping up, I know you don't like to get put on the spot, but just wanted to say briefly, the state of North Carolina Water Pollution Control System Operators Certification is hereby certified. Beginning with Lee County, has met the requirements for certification established by the Certification Commission, Article 3, Chapter 98 of the North Carolina Statute as a grade 1 collection operator. And again, congratulations. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations, Lee.
Extend that thanks to all of your guys for all the work that y'all did during this storm.
And I promise you guys then lunch one day. For my mess you cleaned up.
All right. Okay. Next is our administrative matters. Sean, if you would, I'll let you take under item A. If you will take, item 1, 2, and 3, those are informational matters, and I'll let you present those.
Yes, sir. For item A1 for the White Lake Water Management Project update, Dr. Lawrenson provided her report this month to include rainfall and lake levels. A couple of things to point out here. The rainfall we received in July, as you can see, was noticeably more than the previous months, as it typically is during the summer. We do have larger rain events that take place, summer storms and things of that nature. I will say that August, I think you can expect probably double or triple the amount that we saw in July as a response or in response to Tropical Storm Debbie as a reaction to the rainfall we witnessed over the past 5 days, both from Tropical Storm Debbie and the several storms that followed that week. In reaction to that, I guess you can see right beneath the rainfall chart, you'll see a lake level chart that was rising in July. Again, I would say it will definitely rise more in August as it's continuing to go up there in response to all the rain we've received. On the second page of Dr. Lawrence's report, you can see the pH in standard units from 2017 to current, but it does include the data for the year of 2024 in that chart, as well as the mean chlorophyll measurements and the Secchi depth in feet, which is a item used to measure the clarity of the lake. If there are no questions, Mayor, that concludes the report from Dr. Lawrence this month.
Go ahead and proceed with 2 and 3.
All right, with number 2, our White Lake Water AIA project update. There's a couple of things of importance to note in our AIA project this month. The town has received the final GIS deliverable for the water system, which is a good thing for us to be able to locate what's in the ground in real time as we work on the system. It also will allow us to update various types of information on the system in real time. For instance, if the guys are doing a work order or they're working on a water line break or something of that magnitude, they can actually upload information as to how they fixed it, what the problem was, pictures of the event before and after, and continue to add information to our real-time database with that GIS information. For this month and moving forward, the project, the AIA, the Asset and Inventory Assessment Project, will now shift into hydraulic model development, which is just a fancy term for figuring out the water pressure around the lake and figuring out the areas of improvement needed in our water system as a whole. A rough timeline for the board: in December of 2024, a risk analysis is projected to be complete on the water system. In January of 2025, a life cycle model is projected to be complete on the system. And then in March of 2025, a draft asset management plan is projected to be complete on the water system. If there are no questions, Mayor, that concludes the water AIA project for this month.
All right, and then you got your item 3, the council of government strategic plan update.
Yes, sir. This update is very brief. There were some emails that were sent back and forth about potentially having a meeting towards the end of August, but that date didn't work for the board. The 2 dates that Lumber Council of Governments had proposed are September 12th or September 26th at 6 p.m. So if you want to double check on your calendars and follow up with me, I can certainly get that scheduled if either one of those dates work for the board.
That's 6 p.m. September 12 or 26. Do you know what days those are on?
Those are both Thursdays.
Thursdays. Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
Bill West.
You got one on?
With Bill
I
West.
think there's
Lakeview, I'm still not that stuff.
I'm representing the town at the State Trails Coalition on the 12th.
Okay. So
Seems
September
like we've got a
26th.
couple of folks that are saying something with the 12th that we've got a problem. Why don't we try to shoot for the 26th? If y'all can, if y'all can let Sean know something on that, that'll give us a little more time to get it set up. And I'll have to check my calendar too. I just don't have it with me, but I'll let you know something.
And David Richardson has tentatively put a hold on both of those dates for us. So just as soon as we follow up with them, we can confirm on either one. But it sounds like the 26th. So
Continuing under administrative matters, Sean, if you will present item B on the charge to collect 2024 ad valorem taxes.
Yes, sir. This is, as you can see in your agenda packet, there is a statute associated with this. In layman's terms, this statute is a action that the board gives directly to our tax collector, Tina Merritt Smith, to have the responsibility of collecting the 2024 tax receipts. And as you can see in your agenda packet as well, the total ad valorem taxes to be billed for 2024 is $819,452, which represents an increase of $5,883 over 2023. Furthermore, the 2024 assessed values are 302 million, whereas in 2023 the assessed values were roughly 300 million. So there's an increase of $2.3 million on the assessed value for 2024 as well. I would like to just point out again, I know we talked about it briefly in a past month, the great job that our tax collector, Tina Merritt Smith, does up front. Just to remind the board, she had a 97.4% collection rate during 2023, which I think is a job well done. She'd tell you it's too low, but I tell you it's a job well done. So she's doing a good job up there, and I always like to point that out to the board to let you know how we're doing in real time, so to speak. So if there are no questions, Mayor, I'd ask that the staff would ask that the board adopt the 2024 charge to collect taxes as presented.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to adopt the 2024 charge to collect taxes as presented. Motion second. Second. Any discussion? Not all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Okay, next is the administration vehicle replacement, if you would, please.
Yes, sir. The administration department was using a 2011 Ford Explorer that was previously owned by and operated by our police department. That vehicle has suffered a catastrophic engine failure and is no longer in operation. We have talked with our insurance company. Unfortunately, it's not covered under our insurance plan. But in looking at estimates to repair that vehicle and bring it back into service, it was quickly discovered that the cost to repair would be more than, actually double the value of the car itself. So staff is presenting a proposal to town board tonight to sell that vehicle as a trade-in to Lafayette Ford for the purchase, or for the sale price of $500. And then purchase a 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee for $25,000. If there are no questions, Mayor, staff would ask that the board approve the request as presented.
Any question? Not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the administration vehicle replacement as presented.
So moved.
Motion second.
That's
Any discussion? Not all in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed, like sign. Item D, Sean, if you would debate that.
Item D is a memorandum of understanding between the North Carolina League of Municipalities, the MAPS group, and the town of White Lake. And this is to give our personnel policy an update, as well as conduct a salary study for our pay grade schedule. The cost of this service is $9,500. That includes both the personnel policy update as well as a salary study. This is a pre-budgeted expense to let the board know. But essentially, we're going to spend some time reviewing and updating the personnel policy to bring it up to date, particularly post-COVID. A lot of the employment standards and day-to-day operation responsibilities have changed. The landscape of employment has changed. So this is just sort of a routine thing that towns do every so often, but much needed for our town, again, in response to that changing landscape. If there are no questions, staff would ask that the board approve the memorandum of understanding as presented.
Who did we use last time? They seem it goes by so daggone fast. And we did
I believe
our
it's-
salary.
I believe it was the
league.
MAPS group through the league. And that,
We had used, yeah, I think it was, Tim, we had used another group prior to that, and I won't call them out by name, but quite frankly, we didn't have a real good experience with them, if you.
It was an individual company. I mean,
Yeah, it was, and it was after that, we started working with the MAPS group through the league. And it was not only a better price for us, but the thing that we found is, of course, since we work regularly with the league and are a member of the League of Municipalities, we have the opportunity, since they're through the league, that we have much easier follow up with, because we contact them from time to time for personal ill issues and things like that. And it's really nice to have someone there who can provide expert information on it. So yeah, I think it was, and they've been good to work with since that time, since this came up. So
It's also a relatively large data sample as being through the League of Municipalities as well. And I think just, I want to point out too, I believe the last one was done around 2018, just to give you some time frame on that. 2016.
All right, entertain a motion to approve the MOU as presented in item D.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Not all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Sean, if you will take the two budget ordinance amendments in 4A and 4B.
Yes, sir. The 4A Budget Ordinance Amendment 2025-05 in the Administration Department for the sum of $2,275 is a reallocation of salaries that were budgeted in administration that are unpaid, to reallocate those funds to purchase, for the purchase and the implementation, I should say, of Code Red from OnSolve. Code Red is a public notification system that allows the public to sign up through our website for alerts and real-time information as needed. If there are no questions, Mayor, staff would ask that the board approve Budget Ordinance Amendment 2025-05 as presented.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Not all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Sean, item B.
Item B is Budget Ordinance Amendment 2025-06 for the sum of $46,740. There was a lightning strike at the Public Works Building on July 19th, 2024, and this budget amendment is to account for the receipt of our insurance proceeds less the deductible. The deductible is $500 to cover those items as unallocated or unbudgeted revenues in our budget. If there are no questions, staff would ask that the board approve Ordinance Amendment 2025-06 as presented.
Unless somebody objects to an insurance company giving us money, I would entertain a motion to approve. Motion second.
Second.
Any discussion? Not all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Under number 5, other business and previous agenda items, we have the departmental briefings and reports as we do each month. And at this time, do any of the commissioners have anything of a brief basis that is not contained in the agenda that we are looking at tonight?
Only thing is, I want to thank Terry Hall is bringing our attention about those rule changes and really want to do special thanks. I think we're probably going to discuss it, but my understanding to Mike Suggs and John Clark and Ray Clifton involvement in getting us noticed and getting us on track and get returns. So I'd like to thank those commissioners.
Also, to add to that, Gina P. got one of the board members here Friday before Ray or John knew about it, and he started making noise. And I'm sorry, I'm an educator through and through. There's a lesson to be learned here. If we reach out beyond this row of people, there are a lot of people at White Lake, well-educated, lots of different fields, and there are a lot of people connected. And I feel like with a lot of things that we would like here, if we reached out, the citizens would help us.
Mr. Steve Wyndham.
Yes, that's who. James Howard.
Okay, anything else? If not, on item B is our audit questionnaire. This should have been sent out to each board member directly by Thompson Price Scott and Adams. And if you have received that and have not sent it back in, then please do so. There's an envelope attached for sending it back in. And if you have not received it, let us know and we will make sure that we get that to you. In item C, the Wildlife Resources Commission did adopt an emergency rulemaking for White Lake that prohibits motorboats from operating on a course parallel to the shoreline in the restricted area on White Lake. And the commission also initiated temporary rulemaking with an open comment period. There'll be a virtual public hearing that'll be held on August 2024 from 7 to 9 p.m. And just so you're aware, we have administratively reached out to wildlife or communicating with them now. When I talked with Ray Clifton on this, he was telling me that the only thing that they could put into effect right now on the temporary basis was the boats operating inside the poles parallel to the shoreline. But as you know from last meeting, we discussed several other things with the wildlife representative that was here. And we are currently in contact with them now and are bringing up those other issues which we discussed. One of those, and they have been talking with us some too about hopefully going forward sometime soon, although not directly related to this, and taking out the wooden poles and putting in buoys to have out there. We're also talking with them about the rule regarding pulling a skier in and the boat having to stop where the poles or buoys are at, and that leaves the risk of leaving the skier out in the main line of travel of boats. So we talked with them about that and we'll continue to do so. We've also talked with them about how far the poles will be set out from the shoreline. So, you know, although there's going to be that virtual comment period, if any of the commissioners have anything that you want brought up to the Wildlife Commission, if you'll let Sean know, we'll be glad to pass that along. And we've gotten, I think we've got good communication with them, and we'll continue to do that. And certainly it has been helpful having some of the local commissioners down here now, and that's of great benefit to us. They were of great benefit when we did the initial Allen trip, because they helped in making sure we didn't have to pay for a lot of fish. And that helped a lot. Okay, next item is the lake cleanup and Great Trail State Day. Terry, anything you wanted to say in regard to that?
We could use volunteers for the cleanup, and the Great Trail Day is a state event. And I just feel like it's a good opportunity for us to get on the map and let people know that we do have trails, and we're trying to think of a way to something to plan, so to get people here for the trail.
If you'll keep us informed of that, we'll see what we can do. Item E is the North Carolina Division of Parks and Recreation special permit. We have from time to time, we work with what is now Fort Liberty and Airborne Special Forces Group, and they conduct some parachute jumps into the lake. And the next one will be on September the 19th. If you've never had a chance for your grandkids to watch that, reach out to them. It's a lot of fun to see what those guys are doing out there, and it's quite a sight. If you know somebody that might like to observe that, then be sure and let them know. Probably ought to give a little notice on that similar way so people can see that. All right. At this time, we're in our open forum session of the meeting. You three guys got anything to say? All right, we appreciate it. We don't have, anything else. We've got a brief, closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A5. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to go into closed session. All right. Folks, we'll have to ask y'all to excuse us at this time. We appreciate y'all being here to, meet with us tonight. And again, Lee, congratulations on your certificate.